ሄሎ ተማሪዎች እንደምን አላችሁ? ባለፈው የማትሪክ ኤግዛምፕሎችን ሰርተን ነበር ያቆምነው። እዛ ላይ ኢንቨርስ ኦፍ ፈንክሽን ምን ማለት እንደሆነ የተወሰነ ኤግዛምፕሎችን ወይም ደግሞ የማትሪክ ኤግዛሞችን ለመስራት ሞክረናል። የምናየው ምንድነው? ከዚህ ጋር ኤፍ ኦፍ ኤክስ አለ። ኤፍ ኦፍ ኤክስ ወደዚህ ሲመጣ ዳት ኢዝ ኢንቨርሱ እናገኛለን። የኢንቨርሱ እንደገና ኢንቨርስ እናገኝ ኤፍ ኦፍ ኤክስን ማግኘት እንችላለን የሚል ሲምፕለስት የሆነች ድሮይንግ ናት የምታሳየው። አት ዘ ሴም ታይም እዚህ ጋር ኤፍ ኦፍ ኤፍ ኢንቨርስ አት ኤክስ ማለት ይሄ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? the composition function of f with its inverse ከሆነ it gives a constant x ይሰጣል ማለት ነው። x ይሰጣል። similarly f inverse of f of x ካል ምን ይሆናል? the constant x ነው identity x ይሰጡናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ እዚህ ጋር f of f inverse at x is equivalent to what? the constant x, the identity x, that means f inverse of f of x ይሆናል ማለት we'll consider this one። ይሄ ማለት በሌላ አነጋገር f of what? f inverse of this function, the function 8x, if it is invertible, which is equals x equivalent to f inverse of what? the given function f of x, that equivalent ይሆናሉ። it gives the identity x ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ይሄን አይነት ሪሌሽን ነው የሚያሳየው። ይሄ f inverse f of f inverse of x ይሄ x ይሰጣል ነው የሚለው። እዚህም ጋር ስመጣ black ከለሩ f inverse of f of x, that means it gives us the same x ይሆናል። በሌላ አነጋገር if we take what? find the inverse of this f፣ የዚህኛውን f inverse እንፈልግ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? it gives us what? f inverse ሰጠና similarly የዚህ inverse of inverse እንፈልግ ደግሞ it gives us what? the given f of x ይሰጣል ማለት ነው። we will see this one. Let us consider example on this. That means they are taken from matrix exam. If a point 3 minus 2 is on the graph of what? Y of f of x, which point is on the graph of y is equal to what? f inverse of at x. ስለዚህ y is equal to f of x ተሰጥቶናል። ፖይንቶቹ ደግሞ the graph for the given function f of x ነው። ስለዚህ if we consider any function f, consider ብናደርግ for instance it consists here is 3, negative 2. Let's take here is 4, 5. Let us consider here is 2 and 1. Yes, we can take, this is arbitrary sample. This is a function. This taken from what? The graph. Let's take this are what? The function f, which is represented in the form of relation. So this implies what? The inverse of this function, if it is a function we have, the inverse of this f is equal to what? We interchange the value of x and y. Yes, this is equal to the value becomes what? Negative 2 with 3. The other one is what? 5 with what? 4. The other one is what? 1, 2. This is the inverse. That means interchanging the values of what? F, the coordinate, that means x with y. If that's so, this becomes what? The inverse of our function f. So the possible value that we have in case of the inverse function is what? Interchanging the coordinate that x and y. What is that? You will try to find negative 2 and 3. Negative 2 and 3 consists in the choice C. The choice is C. ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ as observe here 3 minus 2 ግራፋችን function ወይም points in the graph ቢሆኑ 4 and 5 the point on the graph ቢሆን 2 and 1 the point on the graph of a given function f of x ከሆነ ኢንቨርስ ሲሆን ግን ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? ኢንተርቼንጅብል ነው የሚሆነው ማለት ኢንተርቼንጅብል ይሆናል። let us consider a simple instance here. f of x is equal to 3x plus 2, for instance. Now what's the graph of this function? It looks like this, which is equal to, take the x and y intercept for this graph. When x is 0 ሲሆን the value of y becomes what? That is 2 ይሆናል። When the value of y is 0 ሲሆን this becomes what? Negative 2 over what? Negative 2 over 3 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። So by joining this we can sketch the graph of what? This function. This is equal to f of x is equal to what? This is 3x plus what? This is plus 2 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። Similarly, let's try to find the inverse of this function. To find the inverse of this function, we said what? We interchange x and y. This means f of x means y, so we interchange this as forms x is equal to 3y plus what? That is 2. After that, solve the value of y in terms of x, or express the value of y in terms of x. This means what? 1 over 3 into what? X minus what? 2 over 3, which is equal to y. When you come to here, when x is 0, the value of y is what? That is negative 2 over 3. Yes, here is negative 2 over 3. When y is 0, the value of x is what? That is 2. This is 2. Now, you can observe here. You know, we can take any point from this one. From this, the function. That means we can consider that 0 and 2 is what? On the graph of what? All pointers on the graph of f of x. 0, 2. You'll check it whether it is a solution for the case of what? In the inverse, when we take what? 2, 0 must be what? On the case of what? The inverse function. This is what? This is 1 over 3 x minus 2 over 3 is equal to what? This is y. Check this one. If this is the inverse of our function, this is f inverse at x. You see? So if 0 and 2 is what? In the graph of what? The given function, this one. Take it this one. 3 times 0, that is 0, plus 2, that is 2. Here we have the point here. When interchange this one to 0, when y is 0 means what? This is 0. Take here is x is 2. 2 over 3 minus 2 over 3, that is 0. Yes, it is correct. So the domain, that means the value that on the inverse must be what? Interchanging the coordinate values that one. ስለዚህ በዚህ መሰረት ኢንተርቼንጂንግ ማድረግ ነው ማለት ነው። ወይም እዚህ ጋር እንደወሰድነው የዚህኛው ፈንክሽን 3 minus 2 4 5 እና 1 in the function point ከሆኑ ኢንቨርሱን ስንፈልግ ግን we have to interchange ኮኦርዲኔቱን ኢንተርቼንጅ ማድረግ ማለት ነው። if that's so ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? እዚህም ጋር ያለው ኮኦርዲኔት ኢንተርቼንጅ ያደርጋል ማለት ነው። this is the solution for our choice። ወይም ይሄን ሲምፕል ኢንስታንስ ስትወስዱ f of x is equal to 3x plus 2 ብንወስድ ኢንቨርሱን ስንወስድ this is what? This is equal to f inverse at x ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ የፈንክሽናችንን ግራፍ ስኬች እናደርግ this is the graph, the blue color። ነገር ግን green color ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? the graph of what? the inverse function ነው። ስለዚህ any point from the function f of x ስንወስድ for instance this is 0 and 2 ስንወስድ it is what? Points on the graph of f of x። ኢንተርቼንጅ ስናደርገው ግን it becomes what? Points on the graph of its inverse ይሆናል ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ኢንተርቼንጅ ማድረግ ማለት ነው ኢንቨርሱን ለማግኘት። Now the next equation says that if f of x is equal to x plus 2 over x minus 2 and f of a this is given as a forms f of a is equal to 5, then what is the value of what? f of 4 over 3a is equal to what? We asked this one. To answer this, what you have? This means substitute a instead of x. f of a is equal to what? This is a plus what? a plus 2 over a minus 2, which is equal to the value is given, that is 5. You have to take this. After that, you have to equate these values. To find the value of a, equate this equation, which is equal to what? This implies a plus 2 is equal to what? This is 5 times of a minus what? a minus 2, since here we have what? 1 in the denominator. What does this imply? This implies that a plus 2 is equal to what? 5a minus this is 10. After that, solve the value of a. Take this one in the other side, that means 5a minus a is equal to what? 2 plus that is 10. 5a minus a that is what? 4a is equal to what? This is 12. This implies what? The value of a, divide both sides by 4. The value of a is what? 12 divided by, that is 4, is equal to, that is 3. We obtain the value of a, that is 3. So what you ask her to find what? f of what? Not the value of a. We ask her the value of what? f of 4 over 3a, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 4 of f of what? 4 over 3. A is what? That is 3 times 3. Which is equal to what? When simplify, we cancel 3 by 3. What remains? f of that is 4. We asked to find the value of f of 4. F of x is that is given x plus 2 over x minus 2. F of 4 means what? This is 4 plus to insert this value, this 4 into the given function here, f of x. Over what? Over this is 4 minus 2, which is equal to 4 plus 2 is what? That is 6. Divided by 4 minus 2 is what? That is 2. The value of this is what? That is 3. So from the given choice, you have 3. So if you come across such problems, first you have to insert A and find the value of A. After obtaining the value of A, you have to insert into the given function. The next question, it says that if f of x is equals 1 over e to the power of x plus 1, then which one of the following is equivalent to what? The inverse of the given function. What you asked? We asked to find what? The inverse of the given function. As we said before, to find the inverse of the given function, we said that f of x means what? That is y. Is equal to, which implies that 1 over e to the power of x plus what? That is 1. So to find the inverse, interchanging x and y, this implies what? This means x is equal to 1 over what? E to the power of y plus what? 1. This is the inverse of the given function if we express as the forms what? This is f of y. This is the inverse of our function. But there is no function of y in the given choices. ቾይሳችን ላይ ምንድነው function of y የለም እንጂ ኢንተርቼንጅ ካደረግን x እና y ን ኢንተርቼንጅ አደረግን ማለት ዶሜኑ the value of y ይሆናል ሬንጁ ደግሞ the value of x ይሆናል ማለት ነው in this case. So this is the inverse of our function. This is inverse. But there is no function which is expressed in terms of y. በy form የተገለጸ function ግን የለም ምርጫችን። ስለዚህ if that's so, we'll try to solve y in terms of x. This means here we have what? 1. Which implies what? X into e to the power of y plus what? 1 is equivalent to, here is 1. This is equivalent to what? X times what? E to the power of y plus x is equivalent to 1. What does imply? This implies x is the power of y. Take this x to the right side, it becomes what? 1 minus x. After that, solve the value of y here. E to the power of y is equal to 1 minus x over what? Over this is x. Since this one is exponential function, to find this value, take ln both sides. ወልኔንን ወይ ኤክስፖነንት መቀየር ነው ወይም ደግሞ ln of both sides መውሰድ ነው። ለምን? የዚህኛው ቤዙ ወይም ደግሞ e ስለሆነ ማለት ኤክስፖነንቱ y ነው። This implies what? This shows that y is equal to ln of both sides. Take ln of both sides. This is ln of 1 minus x over what? This is x. For that, the quotient of this logarithm. We say that if you come across such a quotient, we take what? We say that difference of what? This function. That means this is ln of 1 minus x minus what? This is ln of what? Ln of x. In case of domain, you have to restrict. The domain means what? The intersection of both. Here is 1 minus x. The domain is what? X. 1 minus x greater than 0. This means x must be less than 1. Here is ln of x. X must be greater than 0. Then finally, take their intersection. The intersection is the domain of our function. But we asked only what? Inverse of the given function. The inverse of the given function is expressed at the forms ln of 1 minus x over x. If that's so, you have to choose. But there is no such choice. Ln of 1 minus x minus ln x is we have here at the choice A, so the choice is A. Now let us consider the problem that we did before. We said what? This is f of x is equal to 1 over e to the power of x plus 1. Let's see the relation of what? The inverse of a given function የሚለውን ለማየት እንሞክር። ይህንን ስንሰራ f inverse at x ምን ብለናል? We solved there. Which is equal to what? Which is equal to ln of what? 1 minus x over x, or which is equal to what? Ln of what? 1 minus x minus what? Ln of x. We said this one. This is the inverse of our function. Let's say what? This is f inverse of x. Let it be this one is equal to y is equal to ln of what? 1 minus x over x, or which is equal to what? Which is equal to ln of what? 1 minus x minus what? This is ln of x. We can take this. So to find the inverse of this function, again what? Let's say this one is equal to what? Let's say this is h of x if you want. To find the inverse of h inverse of at x, we have to interchange x and y. Yes, this means what? X is equivalent to ln of what? Ln of 1 minus y over y. Here we have. What for? This implies that ln of what? 1 minus y over y is equal to what? Which is equal to x. Since it is logarithm function, you have to take what? Exponent to both sides. Take this equal to what? This implies that e of what? Ln of 1 minus y over y is equal to what? Is a power of x. E of ln of 1 minus y over y means what? You know, you have formula for this one. E of log of what? Some x in base is equal to, that is x. You are formula for the case of this one. So we have to apply that one. This means 1 minus y over y is equal to what? Is a power of x. Here we have 1. After that, recross this one. This implies what? This is 1 minus y is equal to what? Is a power of x times what? That means times y. After that, solve y, which implies 1 is equal to y plus y times is a power of x. When you take y is common for this one, this implies what? This is 1 plus is a power of x times what? The whole y. Solve y from this. This implies y is equal to 1 over what? Divide both sides y by 1 plus e the power of x. 1 plus e the power of x. This implies that what? That this is equal to the given function, the original function, that is f of x. f of x. What we want to show. ስለዚህ f of x አችንን በዚህ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ f inverse of x ማለት ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? የመጀመሪያው ፈንክሽናችን f of x ይሆናል ማለት ነው። this is the relationship. ስለዚህ ምን እናደርጋለን? f of x change to ምን ይሆናል? f inverse at x ማግኘት እንችላለን። ስለዚህ የዚህን ደግሞ ኢንቨርስ ስንወስድ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? f of x ይሆናል ማለት ነው። inverse of a given function f of x ይሆናል ማለት በዚህ አይነት መንገድ ማሳየት እንችላለን ማለት ነው። The other option that I want to show you that check that if it is invertible, f inverse at x is equal to what? F inverse of what? F inverse of f of x is equal to the same identity x. You have to consider the arbitrary examples that we check there. That means we say that given f of x equals 1 over e the power of x plus 1, and we obtained f inverse at x is equal to ln of what? Ln of 1 minus x over x. You have to take this. Or if you want, this is ln of what? 1 minus x minus ln of x. We have to consider this also. Both are the same. Or you have to take this as option. So let's check this is f inverse of this x. What for? This is equal to what? Instead of x, we have to take what? F inverse. This is equal to f inverse of what? That is x. Here we have. If that's so, this implies what? 1 over what? E the power of x means what? F inverse of at x. This is plus what? The constant y. Insert this f inverse of x. Let's take this part. This is equal to what? Which is equal to 1 over e the power of what? Ln of 1 minus x over what? Over x plus here is 1. Here is 1. What to observe here? You know that as I told you before, e is a power of ln of That means say b means what? This is equals b. You know this property for the case of what? Properties of logarithms. If that's so, which is equivalent to what? This is equal to 1 over what? E is the power of ln of 1 minus x over x means what? 1 minus x over what? That is x. Is what? That is plus 1. What for? Which is equal to 1 over what? This is takes the LCM for the denominator, that is x. 1 minus x. Here is what? Divided by x divided by 1, that is x. X times 1 is, that is x over, that is x. Here is what? 1 minus x plus x is what? That is 0. But what? This is 1 over x. When you take the reciprocal of this is becomes what? This is x. So f of f inverse of x is, this is x. We obtain this one. Similarly, for the case of f inverse of f of x looks like what? This looks like you have to insert f of x instead of x here. Yes, here we have. This is equal to what? This implies that f inverse of f of what? F of x. Instead of x, you have to take f of x, which is equal to what? Which is equal to ln of into 1 minus f of x over what? Over f of x. Here we go. Which is equal to what? We said that 1 minus f of x over f of x, you have to, if you want to have to express as a forms ln of 1 minus what? F of x minus what? This is minus ln of f of x. You can put it like this also. Well, the possibilities. What is f of x? Here you have to take it in the first case. Here you have ln of yes 1 minus 1 over what? E is the power of x plus 1 divided by, this is divided by what? Divided by 1 over e is the power of x plus 1. Here you have. When you take the LCM for the numerator, here you have what? E is the power of x plus 1. Here is what? 1. So the LCM is e is the power of x plus 1. Take divided by 1 itself. So which is equal to what? Which is equal to ln of e is the power of x plus 1, yes, minus 1 over what? Over e is the power of x plus 1. Again, the denominator is what? 1 over what? E is the power of x plus 1. Here you are. Here you are. We take this one. Here is what? 1 minus 1 is what? That is 0. What remains? E is the power of x. E is the power of x. We cancel here is what? Which is 0. It becomes what? Ln of e is the power of x over what? Over e is the power of x plus 1 over what? Over 1 over e is the power of x. Yes, plus 1. Here is plus 1. Sorry. We are familiar that if you have a over b over c over d means what? We said this one is equal to what? This is AD over what? That is BC. We have such properties. If that's so, we cancel this e is the power of x plus 1 by e is the power of x plus 1, which is equal to what? This becomes ln of what? E is the power of x. You know that. Ln of e is the power of x means what? This is equal to what? This is equal to x. Generally, for any case, what we have? This is f of f inverse of at x is equal to f inverse of what? Of f of x. For any x. Here we have a property which gives us what? Identity value, that is x ይሰጣል ማለት ነው። This is all about this today. ለዛሬ እዚህ ላይ ይበቃናል። ለሚቀጥለው ሌላ ይዤላችሁ እመጣለሁ። መልካም ጊዜ እመኛለሁ። አመሰግናለሁ።